Hello, grade 6. This is your English teacher, Mrs. Manal, and our grammar lesson today is about subject and object pronouns on page 250 in the notebook. To start with, what are pronouns? Pronouns are words that take the place of a noun or nouns in a sentence in order to make speaking and writing English less repetitive. Pronouns can do all the things that nouns can do. Personal pronouns have different forms indicating the person, the number, and the gender of the person or the thing we are talking about. There are three genders of the nouns they represent: masculine, feminine, and neuter gender. Example 1. John always eats pizza with his friends in a restaurant. He adores this meal. He represents the masculine gender. Example 2. The lady with the red hat is my neighbor. She is very calm. She represents the feminine gender. Example 3. A dog is a man's best friend. It is loyal to its owner. It represents the neuter gender since it talks about the dog. So the neuter gender can talk about a thing or an animal. Two cases of personal pronouns include subject pronouns and object pronouns. Subject pronouns are the subject of a verb. They generally appear before the verb. For example, she went to the store. She is a subject pronoun that came before the verb went. Object pronouns are the receiver of the action of the verb or for whom an action was performed. They generally appear after the verb. Jordan bought her roses. Her is an object pronoun that came after the verb. As you see in the picture on the right, there are singular subject pronouns and plural subject pronouns. The green bubbles show us the singular subject pronouns, which are I, you, he, she, and it. And the plural subject pronouns are in orange, we, you, and they. Subject pronouns are used to take the place of words in the subject of the sentence. For example, Michelle, Kristen, Tina, and Stephanie were planning a surprise party. The subject is Michelle, Kristen, Tina, and Stephanie. Michelle, Kristen, Tina, and Stephanie is a noun phrase that can be replaced with the pronoun they. So the sentence becomes, they are planning a surprise party. So they is the subject pronoun that replaces Michelle, Kristen, Tina, and Stephanie. This does not change the meaning of the sentence. Object pronouns are used to take the place of words in the predicate of the sentence. And as we said before, they come after the verb. The chart on the right shows us the object pronouns. They are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, and them. You can be a singular object pronoun when it refers to one person and can be a plural object pronoun when it refers to more than one person. For example, I am going on vacation with Barbara, Becca, Rachel, and Brian. The predicate is Barbara, Becca, Rachel, and Brian. Barbara, Becca, Rachel, and Brian is a noun phrase that can be replaced with the pronoun them. I am going on vacation with them. And so them is the object pronoun that came after the verb. This does not change the meaning of the sentence. Subject personal pronouns come before verbs as subjects. They are I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. For example, Mary is terribly upset today. She is terribly upset today. She replaces Mary, so she is the subject pronoun. Tom's house is red and white. It is red and white. It is the subject pronoun that replaces Tom's house. Susan and Pete want to go to the party. They want to go to the party. They is the subject pronoun that replaces Susan and Pete and came before the verb want. Is Dad traveling to London next week? Or is he traveling to London next week? He is the subject pronoun that replaces the noun Dad. Object personal pronouns come after verbs as objects. They are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, and them. For example, I gave my husband a very nice surprise. I gave him a very nice surprise. Him is an object pronoun that came after the verb gave, and it replaces my husband. All the students did their exercises yesterday. All the students did them yesterday. Them is the object pronoun that replaces their exercises. I will go to the party with Sam. I will go to the party with him. Him is an object pronoun that replaces Sam and came after the verb. Here are some helpful tips. Subject pronouns come before linking verbs, in particular to be verbs, like am, is, are, was, and were. Example, you are from Nevada. You is a subject pronoun that came before the linking verb, which is verb be. Object pronouns are used after action verbs. Example, do you know me? Me is an object pronoun that came after the verb know. My dad taught me how to play baseball. Me is an object pronoun that came after the verb taught. Object pronouns follow prepositions, and they come as objects of prepositions. Example, your sister can come with me. Me is an object pronoun that came after the preposition with. She sings to them every night. Them is an object pronoun that came after the preposition to and after the verb sings. An object pronoun can come as a direct object of the verb. What time did you call Alex? Let's ask a few questions. Whom did you call? Alex. So Alex is the direct object. Now let's replace Alex with a suitable pronoun. What time did you call him? Alex is replaced with the third person singular object pronoun him. So him is an object pronoun that came as a direct object of the verb. An object pronoun can come as an indirect object of the verb too. We spoke to the teacher. To whom did we speak? The teacher. The teacher is the indirect object. Let's replace the teacher with a suitable object pronoun. We spoke to him or her. Here, the pronouns him or her could be used to replace the indirect object here. So, him is an object pronoun that comes as an indirect object of the verb, or her is an object pronoun that can come as an indirect object of the verb. Let's do some practice. Identify the subjects and objects in the sentences. Replace them with pronouns. Example, Tom fed his baby sister. Tom is the subject, his baby sister is the object. He fed her. He replaces the subject Tom and her replaces the object his baby sister. Number 1. Jennifer got the keys. Jennifer is the subject since it came before the verb. The keys is the object since it came after the verb. She got them. She is a subject pronoun that replaces the subject. Them is an object pronoun that replaces the object which is the keys. 2. The candy is for Michael and me. The candy is the subject. Michael and me is the object. It is for us. It is a subject pronoun that replaces the subject and it came before the verb. And us is the object pronoun that replaces the object, and it came after the verb. Here's another example to differentiate between direct objects and indirect objects. How? By asking certain questions. Direct objects answer the questions whom or what, but indirect objects answer the questions to whom or to what. For example, Bob sent roses to his mom. Roses is the direct object. His mom is the indirect object. How did I know? The first question. What did Bob send? Bob sent roses. So roses is the direct object since it answers the question what. The second question. To whom did he send the roses? He sent the roses to his mother. His mother is the indirect object since it answers the question to whom. Please open your notebook on page 250 and let's do this exercise together. Circle the pronoun in parentheses that completes each sentence correctly. 1. I am fascinated by maritime exploration. I cannot say me am fascinated by maritime exploration because I is a subject pronoun that comes before the verb. 2. They believed the sea captain was a good navigator. They is a subject pronoun that comes before the verb believed. 3. Robert and he read about the first people to reach the North Pole. So he is a subject pronoun that comes before the verb read. 4. We studied relics and artifacts. We is a subject pronoun that came before the verb studied. 5. Bill and I studied the habitat of the penguin. I is a subject pronoun that comes before the verb studied. 6. David and she have always wanted to visit Alaska. She also here is a subject pronoun that came before the verb have wanted. 7. Mr. Douglas taught me and her about Arctic explorers. Her is an object pronoun that came after the verb taught. 8. The class put the fossils back in the case after students studied them. So them is an object pronoun. 9. Teddy Roosevelt supported Admiral Peary and often wrote to him. Him is an object pronoun that came after the verb supported. 10. She took us on a field trip. We cannot say she took we on a field trip because us is an object pronoun that comes after the verb, and here us came after the verb took. 11. I helped Sarah and them with the science project. Them is an object pronoun that came after the verb helped. 12. My sister told you and me stories about her visit to Alaska. Me is an object pronoun that came after the verb told. Your homework for this week is to study the pronouns in the video, the subject and the object pronouns, and to apply in the notebook page 303. Thank you. See you soon.